Right, it's Friday, the 16th of June, 2022. Hello, good evening, and welcome to News Night here on Metro Television. My name is Bridget Otu. It's good to be back. Our headlines tonight. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Baggin, puts on hold all financial transactions from the Finance Ministry until the Minister briefs the House on COVID-19 expenditure. Fuel prices continue to rise as diesel hits 13.5 pesos a litre, while petrol sells at 10.99 pesos a litre. Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta says after will cut Africa's trade deficit by 51%. FIFA congratulates Ghana and 31 other Africa countries that have qualified for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. And we'll look at the prostitution ring that has hit Nigeria. So we have details of these stories and more in the next 60 minutes. Stay with us. Hello again. And remember, we're streaming on Twitter at Metro TVGH. If you're on Facebook, it's at Metro TV Ghana and at Newsnight. Our very first story tonight, and diesel prices have hit the 13th cedi mark following the depreciation of the cedi. Head of research at the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Bernard Insian, says government must work at controlling the free fall of the cedi.
Ghana reduced the boss margin by 2 pesos per litre. We make this argument that currently the tax component on the price build-up is less than the 40% narration you gave earlier. I think the tax component, if I do my calculation well, will be even less than 28% on the price build-up. If we even take boss margin, which is currently at 7 pesos per litre, if we even take it out clearly out of the build-up, it wouldn't change that much. What I think government should do is to actually look at measures we need to put in place to make sure that the cedi appreciates against the dollar. For example, even if you look at indicators currently, the first window of July, the cedi has depreciated further, which is the forward rate of the cedi has depreciated further. So if you don't put measures in place, regardless of the tax components we eliminate from the build-up, regardless of international market prices maybe declining, the cedi factor will increase prices locally.
Okay. Right, and our business team has put together what constitutes the fuel price build-up, and it will shoot up on your screens very, very soon. And so these are the things that go into that. And import parity prices, as it's comparing, it's quoted in dollars, represents the price that the bulk distributors pay, that's the BDCs, for the delivery at the Tema port. Also, the rationale behind the import parity pricing benchmark is to have a strong relationship with the actual cost of fuel imports into Ghana. All right, they look at charges as well, such as port duties. It's added at the ex-refinery price, calculated in Ghana peso per litre. The historical average exchanges rate of the cedi to the dollar within the 2-week time frame is then added to the equation. And remember, since deregulation, you have almost a 2-week window for prices to change, and that's why you keep seeing the changes at the pump. Taxes and levies passed by Parliament are also added along with various oil marketing companies' distribution margins to arrive at the final ex-pump price. And the ex-pump price is, of course, the price the public pays for fuel at the various filling stations. Fuel taxes and margins typically make about 40% of ex-pump. Kudos to Winston and the business team for putting that together. Right, and again, anytime fuel prices goes up, they tell you that there are so many levies and taxes on it. So we have a number of them on your screens, and you can see the Energy Debt Recovery Levy, we're still paying, the Road Fund, Energy Fund, Sanitation and Pollution, Special Petroleum Tax, Energy Sector Recovery, Unified Pricing, Petroleum Fund, and so on and so forth. So there are some who believe that if some of these are removed, we could be paying less at the pump. And so we've already mentioned these in the earlier presentation, but of course they all make up the margins from boss, dealers or retailers, operators, fuel marketing, marketers, and the primary distributors. And if you have been on social media, you may have seen this video, but if you haven't, following the increment in fuel prices at most fuel stations across the country, consumers are reacting abruptly by engaging in bulk purchases of products in the market. And in your shot now is a Kia truck that was spotted at the Atomic Junction fuel station with huge barrels, purchasing volumes, probably hoarding. Who knows what the next window would bring? So they're probably hoarding against the continuous increases in fuel prices. Now, the Ghana cedi does not help. It has depreciated by 0.86% in the just ended window, while on the international market, price of petrol and diesel have shot up by 14.81% and 17.87% respectively. And this caused the price of fuel to increase by 4% in local markets across the country. Now, experts have made calls on government to immediately propose measures to shore up the rates of depreciation of the Ghana cedi. And so we'll see what happened in the coming days, all right? So we're also expecting that transport fares would go up. Earlier, drivers had asked for 25%. They got 15% in the last increment. We'll see what happens now that the diesel has hit 13 pesos per litre. So we're staying on energy, and meanwhile, a Deputy Energy Minister, William Oreku Eidu, says the Russia-Ukraine war and the depreciation of the Ghana cedi should be blamed for the surge in petroleum prices in Ghana. According to him, the government is unable to do much about the prices due to deregulated regime for pricing petroleum prices in Ghana.
The global oil market is currently characterized by the ongoing geopolitical tensions, post-pandemic challenges, supply chain issues, and rising inflation. There have been recent reports of diesel shortage and severely depleted distillate fuels inventories across North America, Europe, and Asia. Sanctions and boycott on petroleum export from Russia, a major exporter of distillate, especially to Europe, are reducing availability even further and intensifying upward pressure on fuel prices. Effective from 1st April 2022, government reduced margins in the petroleum price build-up by Ghana pesos 15 pesos per litre for the next 3 months. To help stabilize the prices of petroleum products, the government instituted a temporary forest cover for oil imports through the Bank of Ghana. Indeed, it's a challenge. This is a worldwide phenomenon that is happening. And of course, the government is doing all it can. As I'm sure you know, the state cedi has been stabilized reasonably in the last several weeks. As opposed to what is happening as a result of the Ukraine war, we have very little to do about it. And all that we can all hope as people is to continue to hope that the steps that government has taken will continue to afford us enough supply of petroleum in this country, as opposed to what is happening in other countries around the world, where there are people are queuing and sleeping in filling stations for fuel.
Right, so let's go to Parliament. And the Minority Caucus in Parliament, in a press conference on Wednesday, repeated calls for government to put in place effective measures to immediately arrest the rapid depreciation of the cedi and its attendant effect on petroleum price hikes. MP for Gomoa West, Richard Jan Mensah, addressed the press.
As of today, a diesel is at 12.35. That is 12.35 per liter. Petrol is at 10 cedis per liter. And this prices, if you look at the international markets, how the trend or the outlook, it looks like the prices are still going to go up. So from the minister's response, it clearly shows that the ordinary Ghanaian should brace himself for price increments. And this I think is going to bring about a lot of suffering to everyone here. So I'm calling on government. This call, one way or the other, can also be an appeal. That if government can attend to this issue critically. One, if we look at the role BOSS play in terms of our petroleum sector, BOSS is supposed to store products in anticipation of maybe international market price or also anticipation of shortages. As it stands now, BOSS is operating as a private sector, charging prices which are automatically transferred to the ordinary Ghanaian. I can clearly say that, to me, the currency depreciation is the major cause of the price hike now. The currency depreciation. So the best way government can help the ordinary Ghanaian is to put in place effective measures to arrest the rapid depreciation of the cedi. I believe that if that is done, it would help solve this. It will help hold the situation for a while.
We're staying in Parliament as the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has directed the House to suspend work on all transactions from the Finance Ministry until the Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, comes to the House to account for government expenditure of some 19.7 billion COVID-19 funds. The Finance Minister has on 2 occasions failed to appear before the House to respond to questions on COVID-19 funds.
The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, some weeks ago directed the Finance Minister to appear before the House. He was to account for government's COVID-19 expenditure following concerns by the minority that some monies may have been misappropriated. Ken Ofori-Atta, who had been scheduled to appear before the House some 2 weeks ago, could not show up, forcing the Business Committee to reschedule him for Thursday, 16 June 2022. He again disappointed the House, prompting the minority to ask the Speaker to take action.
First call came very early this morning, and they were expecting that we'll be sitting at 10. So they were asking, is the Minister for Finance coming? I said, I'm a leader, but I'm not aware. But all I know is that the business statement says so. So we are all expecting him. Mr. Speaker, we are here. If you take the other paper for today, it's different from what was approved by the Business Committee on the business statement. And Mr. Speaker, if we allow business to go that way, you sit in the chair and give directive. Number 3 personality of this country. You give a directive to a Minister of Finance to appear before the House and explain to the good people of Ghana how Parliament is exercising its oversight responsibility. Mr. Speaker, I think any Minister of State should take this directive or this call very seriously.
We are unable to accept the explanation that he is not available today for purpose of parliamentary business. I'm not aware of any formal communication from him that he is not able to come and answer those questions. I see, Mr. Speaker, that your directive that he comes to account to this House for 19.7 billion of COVID resources. This is the first time in our constitutional democratic history under the 4th Republic that a minister and a government will be running away from questions of accountability. Come and account to the Ghanaian people. The donors themselves are saying, account for the money we gave you. 1 billion from IMF, 430 million US dollars from World Bank, 10 billion from Bank of Ghana and 200 million from Stabilization Fund. So, Mr. Speaker, you were right when you demanded that in the interest of probity and accountability, the preamble to our constitution, the minister must come to this August House and account to the Ghanaian people.
Majority Leader Osei Mensah-Bonsu explained that the minister wasn't deliberately running away from his responsibility.
Nobody to jump into conclusions that the minister is running away from responsibility. I shudder to think of how that thing is coming about. Between today and Wednesday, it's not too far. In fact, he himself said either Tuesday or Wednesday. The business committee, it was that decided I should be Wednesday, so that people could maybe get better informed about the minister coming here.
In the end, the Speaker directed the House to suspend all business activities involving the Finance Ministry until the minister appears before the House.
A motion that requested the approval of this House for more money to be given him, that is his ministry, not him in person, for the purpose of COVID-19, be on the hold until he answers the questions. He responds to. I think that still holds. And I'll go further to say that until the answer is provided, until we go through the accountability process, we will not take that motion. With respect to the questions, well, today he has another request before us. That will also be affected. Until he comes to respond to the questions and to submit the statement, giving explanation as to how that money has been applied, we will not entertain any business from that ministry.
Right, and the Speaker was referring to two loan facilities that the Finance Minister was asking for, and I have the order paper before me. He was asking for a loan facility agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana and the African Export-Import Bank, Afrexim Bank, of an amount of $750 million. And the second one was a loan facility between different banks and Ghana, an amount of $250 million. And the first one that the motion was moved and also rejected was when the chair of the Finance Committee, Kweku Kwarteng, also moved a motion for $75 million for COVID-19 health response project. That was also not responded to, and that's why the minority is taking that position. So we're going again in Parliament as a Member of Parliament for Sanyerugu constituency and ranking member of the Communications Committee of Parliament, ABA Fuseni, says the Finance Ministry's posture clearly shows he's running away from accountability.
The Finance Minister has woefully, under whose watch public funds have been kept, has woefully and abysmally failed to account for the money. He has no way of accounting. In fact, he's operating a very opaque system. And because of that opacity of the operations of the Finance Minister, he cannot account for the funds. That's why consistently he's running away. He's in flight. It's not that he has not come. He has run away. He has fled. Because he cannot account.
Couldn't there be genuine reason why he couldn't be here?
What is the genuine reason? I just gave you that. Indeed, in the last 1 week alone, 3 postponements. In the last week, there have been several others. And any member of Parliament will tell you that we have lost count of the number of times. Why? Is he the only Minister of State who is busy? On a daily basis, I'm sure you people are reporters here. You see how many ministers come to answer questions here? Is the Finance Minister above accountability? Is he above the laws of this country? It is because he has made himself a tin god in the government of the NPP where it's untouchable. Nobody can touch the Finance Minister because he's close to the President. That's why he thinks that he can ride roughshod over everybody, including Parliament. But I'm telling him, he is not above the law.
Right, you're live here on Newsnight on Metro Television with me, Bridget Otu. We're taking our very first break. When we come back, we'll look at some more stories. You can also join us with your thoughts on all our social media platforms. Stay with us here on Metro Television. Welcome back to News Night here on Metro Television. We'll continue with the rest of our stories. And the administrator of the National PREMIX Fuel Secretariat, Nana Abrakwa Asari, is calling for the immediate arrest of persons who will be found culpable of illegally selling the product. In an interaction with Metro Television, he acknowledged that the Secretariat is putting in place strict measures to curb the situation.
The struggle of fishermen to ply their trade has taken a different turn. It has become challenging for them to access PREMIX fuel. These fishermen say middlemen are hoarding the little that is supplied and later sold to them at exorbitant prices. It is to this effect that the administrator of the National PREMIX Fuel Secretariat, Nana Abrakwa Asari, is calling for the arrest of these intermediaries who have not been given the legal right to sell the product.
If you read the airline, there are instances where people say you have people who are not fishermen on the airline. People can go to all the landing beaches. We adhere strictly to the airline. So if you are not a fisherman, if you are not a canoe owner, you don't have any business you don't have anything doing on the landing beach committee. But there are people that we've entrusted the full into their hands who end up engaging in these illegalities. And anybody who is found culpable will be dealt with by the law.
He also hinted on several moves put in place by the Secretariat to help fight the threat.
We've been working very hard to automate the system. We realize that the human element, in as much as we are doing a lot of enforcement, we are doing a lot of education, people still find their way through this loophole. So what we want to do ultimately is to digitize the system. And I think plans are far advanced. As I speak to you now, the contract was just signed to award the contract to a contractor. So we can fully roll out this automation that we've been talking about.
Fisher folks who are suffering as a result of the high prices say the development has already started affecting their trade as they are unable to go to sea frequently, and even when they do, proceeds from the sale do not commensurate with the cost of fishing expenditure.
Right, so we are going to go on Zoom to engage a public health specialist, Jacob Ashon Jr., who's been on a crusade to ensure that monies are responsibly accounted for. A very good evening to you, and thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
I'm sure you've seen a series of stories that we have had from Parliament. Are you surprised at where we are, and what do you think this would elicit from the members should they summon the finance minister?
Great. It is too late. It is long overdue. The finance minister should have been summoned by now, and has been impeachment process has been started by the minority. Because one, you can never be in public office and intentionally refuse to account for a wasteful money, a public health issue, money oriented to public health, come and account. And you are refusing to account to the very people upon which the money was supposed to be used for their health care. Please, we are delaying. The youth of this country is gradually becoming annoyed for what is going on. Why is it that the finance minister is refusing to come to Parliament to come and account?
So that's the question I want to put to you. That's the question. Why is he refusing?
One, they have chopped the money and they are now looking for cooked figures to come and present. And the figures are not tallying. Because when you come and lie, let me tell you, we are in the modern world. The data will expose you. So now it is difficult for them to get figures to, culminate in the money that they have chopped and got wasted. That is why he's not coming. Because when he comes, he must provide evidence of the expenditure, where the money went. Let me tell you, most of the healthcare frontline workers have never received any money as said by the president in the various presentations that he did. So where is the money? The money has gone to party apparatus. They've sent it among the party executives. So now come and account. Bring the papers. Bring all the payment receipts. Because the receipts are not available, the money went to wrong hands. It is becoming difficult for the finance minister to come and present the evidence at the Parliament. That is why he's not coming. They
Okay.
share the money among the party.
Jacob, if I may, I mean, this is a pandemic that has cost lives, has wrecked our economy, people have lost jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So to say that they chop the money would be most unfortunate, wouldn't you agree?
I strongly disagree. One, if he is genuine, if he respects Ghanaian, if he respects the ordinary man on the street, if he respects the taxpayer, let me tell you, he should have come to account for the money. The money was not for him. It was for the betterment of the people of this country and the taxpayer. Why are you refusing to some money that you have dispensed? Why are you refusing to come and account? You are being called to the representative house. That is where Ghanaians are. We have our representatives. Come and account to them. You say you won't come. Simply because, one, he's been irresponsible. Two, he's a disgrace to himself and his family and the nation as a finance minister. Three, he does not respect the health care of this country, the public health issue. Even he had COVID. He should have learned sense and said that even you had COVID. Look at what
those are very strong words. But if he responds to the second call,
where is the money? Why? Listen, why is he refusing to bring the expenditure? Come with the figures. Come and tell us how you use the money. What are the evidence? You say you won't come. So do you think we should laugh at you?
Okay.
We should use strong words on him.
So
okay?
if he responds, so this is the second time that a call has been extended to him. So if he responds, what specific things would you want the MPs to ask from the minister?
One, he should give us empirical evidence of the expenditure on that money.
Right.
Two, failure to do so, impeachment process should be initiated by the minority group in parliament. Three, the president must immediately remove the finance minister. He's the most disgraceful finance minister ever assumed office in this country. And the government, the president must remove him before it is too late. Because you can't joke with the health of the people and you refuse to come and account by parliament, not just by any ordinary setup, by the representative house of the people. And you are telling me you won't do it.
All
but
right.
you, when you had COVID,
Thank
you travel
you.
outside the country to go and seek for health care.
Thank you very much, Jacob.
So, we need to rise up and demand.
Jacob, thank you very much for talking to us. Jacob
accountability from
Ashon
him.
Jr. is a public health specialist saying that the finance minister should respond to the call and give us empirical data to back how COVID-19 monies were spent. So you can also join us with your thoughts on it. It's a second invitation. Parliament says they will not consider any business from there. Currently, he needs $750 million, $250 million. They are not going to handle until he comes and tell us what happened with COVID-19 funds. What do you think? Send us your thoughts on it. All right, so let's move away and talk about some more stories and the continuous absence of Dom Kwabenya MP Sarah Adjoa Safo has been greeted with mixed reactions by her constituents. As some constituents feel her absence has slowed down development of the constituency. Others believe she is taking the right decision to take care of her children before she returns to Parliament. My colleague Henry Kwesi Badujast returned from Dom Kwabenya and has the rest of the story.
The embattled Dom Kwabenya MP has been absent from Parliament for months now, following claims that her absence is due to a health condition of the son. Her only appearance before the House was a cameo one when she appeared before the House of Legislature during the disapproval of the 2021 budget and the subsequent approval of the budget by the parliamentarians on the majority side. The Speaker of Parliament, thus in May, directed that the MP appears before the Privileges Committee of the House. Following unsuccessful attempts by the committee to reach the minister through her ministry and also through her private offices, the committee has thus summoned the MP through the media to appear before the committee on July 6, 2022. According to some, the embattled MP is doing the right thing by staying away from Parliament to take care of her child.
For almost a year, Muni MP. What's the matter?
Any MP. What to coin? Oh, media and Hamisa, what the Abysan was saying, Nibahon Fano. No, quite as I want to say, I don't see the Niagro. See a bomb permanent said Nibahon Tonwaba or buy a beto Abana Amano.
Or sign buses here.
Obama Tomano. Oh, just say, you hear more, on the if with my boy. And Pastor Banks or boy can be British, and I agree internet say a culture to buy a Tomano.
Others think the constituency is struggling due to the absence of the minister.
It seems we Ghanaians, most of us are very villagers. But what Adjustafo is doing in this area now, it's uncalled for because we pay him every month. We pay her every month. He's supposed to come. If he don't want to come out, then we're supposed to dismiss her. What she's doing is very uncalled for. I bet you, bro. The oil and the airtime, cry. You have to about one area, huh? Masa, eh? It's real. Quite airtime. Area by there and your fate. You know, the enemy of the government in your own unity. No one, own unity. And one own unity. Yes, because market 2 months for no cry. They are more yaman or honor. Yeah, still, I know. Not the end why. Because we have been as a wound or almost 15 days. It's more than some months. You have to play amount. Be a young wound you could see still. Where they are buying a TikTok, no. Just a grow Rugana for. Oh, then someone to me there's something wrong. Because maybe now on the party in any day as a party in any idea. As so much.
If they have invited men, she's not coming back. That means she's not ready for the work. So definitely they should choose someone who is ready for the work. If she's ready to come back, fine, we are cool. And then when she comes to, she has to do the work. There are rules out there, like we need help. So if you come and then she will work, fine. But if she's not ready to come to, anyone who is ready to work, let's just,
How has her absence affected you? You spoke about roads. There are other things that I'm sure the MP would have to do in a constituency. How has that affected you?
Like you know, MP, she's supposed to help the community because she has been here, so she knows what we need. The roads, there's some kind of social amenities that we need here. So yeah, we need all those things. So if she's not there, who is there to provide these things for us? She is representing us in the parliament there. So she has to be here to know what we need and what we want.
Those are views of some constituents from the Dominic Kwabena constituency. Will the MP avail herself on July 6, 2022, either virtually or face-to-face before the Privileges Committee of Parliament? Only time will tell. Reporting from the Dominic Kwabena constituency, I am Henry Kwesi Bedu.
You heard voices from Dom Kwabena constituents. And well, despite the mixed reaction, it appears the MP remains undefeated in her constituency. Now, according to a survey by Global Info Analytics, 50.3% of voters in her constituency are very likely or likely to vote for the current MP, whilst 30.6% are very unlikely to vote for the MP. The survey noted further that approximately 19.2% of voters in her constituency say they are neutral. Let's take a look. That's what it says. All right, so that's it. So in Dom Kwabena, this is what the analytics say. 50.3% of voters say they are likely, like I read to you. 30.6% say they are very unlikely or unlikely to vote for the MP. Approximately 19.2% say they are neutral. 29.7% of voters in the constituency believe the country is headed in the wrong direction, whilst 70.3% said it is headed in the right direction. So the overwhelming majority, 70.3% is huge, say it's in the right direction. All right, conclusion, they say incumbent MP is reported likely to will not be seeking re-election will not be seeking re-election. The outcome of the 2024 race in this constituency will be determined by a number of factors: the strength of change and the loyalty of voters to Adwoa Safo, and how she exits, as well as the influence of the Christo Asafo Church members. And this could be an open election for any candidate to win. We would want to hear from the MP if indeed she will not contest. We're going to Second D. So we've moved from Don Kwabenya, Second D, Andrew Mercer. All right, and in Second D, we're looking at 20.5% of voters say they are very likely to vote for their current MP, while 64.1% are very unlikely. But we will not go into that today. Let's just focus on Dom Kwabenya constituency. We'll look at the MP for Second D at another time, but let's just focus on the Dom Kwabenya. Dom Kwabenya looks like Adwoa Safo is still very popular. We'll look at Andrew Mercer a bit later on. Right, so we're taking another break. When we come back, we'll look at business, sports, and entertainment. Stay with us here on Metro Television. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Newsnight Live on Metro TV. My name is Winston Taki. And now to a first business story. The Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta says the African Continental Free Trade Area will cut Africa's trade deficit by 51%. He noted this while delivering the keynote address at the just-ended U.S.-Ghana Business Forum in Accra.
The African Continental Free Trade Area is a trade area that was founded in 2018 but was fully functional in 2021. The agreement aims to create a single market for goods and services in order to deepen the economic integration of Africa. This year's United States-Ghana Business Forum aims at promoting the business partnerships and relationship ties between the two countries and Africa as a whole. Highlighting the benefits of the African Continental Free Trade Area, the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta noted that the free trade areas will increase Ghana's intra-African trade.
So the FTA for us in Ghana will reshape the way we do things, to begin to think outside of Ghana, to be able to encourage joint ventures that will pivot from here to increase our intra-Africa trade, which is a measly 17%, and the results could be a boost in intra-Africa trade by about 33% and cut Africa's trade deficit by 51%. I mean, it's almost shameful to admit that we in Africa import $50 billion worth of food, whilst we have 60% of the world's arable land.
The Deputy Secretary for the United States Department of Commerce, His Excellency Don Graves, noted the African continent and U.S. must work together to reduce inflation.
Now is the time to find ways to support and work with one another, because through this mutual support is the way that we can all deal with the challenges that we're facing. To invest in a more resilient supply chain, we have to find ways to, as we say, develop friend-shoring or ally-shoring, where we invest not just in the United States, but we invest with our partners around the globe. To work cooperatively to reduce inflation. That's why we remain committed to increasing trade and investment between our countries as a key driver towards recovery.
Now, the MP for Insheso, Dr. Stephen Amoah, has faulted any attempt at using short-term measures to fight the economy. According to him, despite government's strategic approach to revamping the economy, only long-term fundamental changes to the system will ensure a sustainable economy.
Some of the fundamentals are actually posing risk to us. They are risk factors. Most of them, not because of this regime, or even Namahama alone, or whatever, or Kufuor, or Rollins, or whatever. But they've been with us for so many years that we need to fix them. So I believe this government is doing well. However, I think there are certain lingering challenges that have been with us for a long time, or which have been with us for a long time. And they were the variables that I made mention of just a few seconds ago, that we need to make sure that we find everlasting solutions to them. Why do we import produce? Why do we import wood products? These are freely given to us because what we need to produce them in the quantities that we can actually use to meet our utilities or satisfaction as a country, we have them almost every place. Look, just about 100 meters within our vicinity or visibility or whatever, you see different kinds of fruits. And these do not require complex value chains to actually produce them, so that we can create the needed opportunities in terms of jobs for the people to be employed. And also, it will really, really reduce our demand for foreign goods, and for that matter, demand for foreign currencies, and for that matter, depreciating of our cedis or depreciation of our cedis.
Now let's bring you an update on how the Ghana cedi has been faring against major global currencies and the prices of commodities across the world. That'll be all for business here on Newsnight. My name is Winston Taki. We'll be back with sports with Phil John Quarte after this break. Stay tuned.
It's time for sports. My name is Phil John Quarte. The leadership of the Ghana Athletics Federation has released names of athletes that were representing Ghana at the 2022 Commonwealth Games that include until suspended Marta Bisu.
Oh, everything fine, man. That issue was resolved somewhere last year when the Director General of National Sports Authority intervened. He spoke to her with the legal team from the National Sports Authority, and the matter was resolved. We issued a press statement and we welcome her back into the Ghana Athletics family. They are preparing feverishly, and as you indicated, Azamati is running in Oslo tonight. Some of the athletes will be going to Jamaica to participate in the Jamaica National Championship. Some are, Joseph Ramwa will also be competing in US. He has two competitions in US, and Deborah, Abigail, and others are going to Jamaica, and Azamati is in Oslo today. So they are preparing feverishly because they are going to the World Championship before they go to the Commonwealth Games. So all the preparation is geared toward the World Championship in Oregon at the end of this month, around July, I should say. So it is after the World Championship that they will go to the Commonwealth Games. So they are preparing very well, and we should submit the final list to the ministry for the per diem and other logistics that we will receiving from the ministry. In terms of preparation, I can say everything is in process and we are good to go.
That's your sports. My name is Phil John Quarte. Harriet is standing by for the latest in showbiz.
Thank you, Johnny, for that update. It's time for entertainment news. Multiple award-winning gospel artist Ohima Mercy officially launched this year's edition of her annual music event, Ahila Experience. This will be the 9th edition of the widely patronized gospel music event.
The launch, held at the head office of 3 music networks here in Accra, saw Ohima Mercy Ministries
officially launched this year's edition of the program and unveiling artists ministering at the event. In attendance were colleague musicians, fans of Ohima Mercy and the media, including Sisi Chum, Kwesi Otin, CEO of 3 Music Network Sadiq Abdullahi, Prophet Kofi Odro, music producer Kewa, among several others. Speaking to the media, Ohima Mercy said she was excited about this year's edition, recounting experiences from past editions and calling on Ghanaians to expect something greater this year.
For me, this is just the teaser of what is going to happen 2022 Tahila experience. I know you have probably been at some of the Tahila experiences, but this one, I must confess to you, the power of the Holy Ghost is going to be strong. The presence is going to be massive. And we are carrying this presence on the 14th of August. Wherever you are, we're taking this opportunity to come as you are in your life will never be the same.
Some personalities who were at the event and also artists billed to minister at the event spoke to Metro News about the expectations.
Hila this year is going to be something else. Listen, the theme is the cloud of glory, and we're trusting God that we will experience Him in ways that we've never done.
I have a very beautiful story. The Lord is moving my ministry with some kind of speed, and I thank people like Ohima Mercy for trusting what God has given us and putting us on their stage. But on the 14th of August, you don't want to miss this gathering, the clouds of glory.
I want to say thank you to Mommy for this opportunity. I don't take it for granted at all. You know, it's the clouds of glory, and we believe that the glory of God is going to come down. Coming 14. So this is an opportunity, and we have to prepare for it.
The 9th edition of the Tahila experiences under the theme Clouds of Glory and will take place on 14th August here in Accra and 4th September in Kumasi. Guest artist for this year is celebrated South African gospel musician Benjamin Dube, and other ministers include Joe Metal, MOG Music, Pastor Isaiah Fosukwache, Kofi Osupepra, SK Frimpong, Mr. M and Revelation, and Efe Green.
The moment Beyonce fans have all been waiting for has finally arrived. After keeping an extra close eye on the superstar's social media pages in the last few days, she has officially announced her new album. This is not a drill. The Sweet Dreams singer 40 updated her Instagram bio with the name of her upcoming collection of songs, which will be titled Act I Renaissance. Renaissance will be Beyonce's first solo album in 6 years since the earth-shattering visual album Lemonade graced our playlist in April 2016. Renaissance will be released July 2029. Yeah, that's it. Well, that's it for entertainment news on Newsnight. My name is Harriet Adi Bridget.
Thank you. Beehive, we're very excited about Beyonce's announcements. International news is next. And on the international front, 35 teenage girls have been rescued from a hotel in southeastern Nigeria where a trafficking ring was forcing them into prostitution. Childbirth to these girls are sold according to local police. The girls, aged between 14 and 17, were rescued from the Gali Gali Hotel in Anambra State, where they were used as sex slaves and for prostitution and baby-making. Local police spokesman Tochukwu Ikenga said in a statement on Wednesday evening. 4 of the girls were pregnant, he said, adding that weapons and cash had been recovered by police. 3 men were arrested at the scene while the owner of the hotel is on the run, the police said. And that's it for News Tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. You can go to all our social media platforms or our website and follow the rest of the stories there. Good evening. My name is Bridget Otu.